Welcome back to the Switch Sports Golf Ranked League. It is coming down to the final couple of weeks here in the final push for those top 16 spots. And in addition to that, I am also going for my best finish ever. So the best spot that I finished in at the end of a ranked season was 8th at the end of last one. I'm currently positioned in 5th place. So this lobby here has me at ELO 3381. We've got Sage7/Dylan at above 3,000. Oatsy is here, Alex is here, Lemon is here, Ian's here, and Tommy is here as well. We've got a great lobby here. Let's get started here on hole 18. I've got my new fit, my seasonal fit. Hopefully it's not too distracting. It's a bit different than I'm used to. We'll be in a nice spot in the fairway here to approach this. It looks like right pin on like the second shelf of the green. Interesting pin. You know, it's one that maybe I want to try to launch spin one up there too. Let's try that. About that much power should be good. And hopefully we can just get this to launch up there nicely. Hitting the fairway is nice there. That's ideal. That will launch, and I was slightly aimed too far to the left. The wind pushed that a little bit more left than I was anticipating it would. But that's a perfectly fine leave. Just kind of gliding it to a stop right next to the pin. And we have a tap-in eagle on the first here. So we'll see eagles all around except for one on that first hole. You know, not the easiest setup there on that hole 18. And we'll move on to hole 16. It looks like this is a pretty straightforward seed. Actually, this hole 16 is looking a little bit difficult. 22 miles an hour actually isn't too bad here, though. 22, I think we can work with. We want to aim this out over in that direction. And I think we can play this one a little bit more aggressively. Go for that shortcut. That should push left nicely. Now, it may clip OB first, but it should make it all the way through, and it will. So that's a nice spot to be. And we don't have a ton of green to work with, but I think I can actually hit this one pretty aggressively, maybe with the wedge here, and see if we can spin this one back. You know, the overspin is a risk here, and that's something I probably want to avoid. I just don't know if the 9-iron is going to make it necessarily. We may have to go for it just for safety purposes, like a little dot and a half on the 9-iron. Ooh, Ian has made the eagle. Fantastic shot. So he birdied the first and then comes right back and makes a great eagle on the second hole here. Let's see if we can match that or at least put this one close. You know, I went for a less aggressive play just to avoid... Ooh! To avoid something like that happening, ending up a little further away from the cup, you know, I don't know if that would have spun with the 9-iron. The wedge can spin like all the way back off the green if you're not careful with it. So just a near miss there with the 9. I was just hoping to put it close and have a tap-in birdie. That's what I'll get. And we'll see if anyone can play that one more aggressively. Alex has made it, and Tommy. So that was a pretty chaotic one. We see 3 eagles. That is not an easy eagle at all. But Tommy, Alex, and it looks like Ian made eagles there. Fantastic shots. We'll be one shot back. So we're fighting from behind now, and we've got, you know, still 7 holes to play. Plenty of time to try to make up that shot. Let's see what we have here on hole 2. It's 11 miles an hour, pushing kind of straight ahead. This is a weird situation here. I'm thinking we'll want to aim it to about there. I'll take the 5-iron, hit it with like that much power, and I'm just hoping to not overpower this. This is one that's a pretty difficult ace. I'm just trying to put this one close. And I mean, maybe it can get a lucky bounce, but I'm just hoping to keep that one right about on that line, actually. That looks really good if that bites pretty hard. I don't think it will with that wind. Yeah, it just ends up, you know, spinning back lightly. It was on a good-looking line. I had to land it shorter, that's for sure. But it's weird to land it too short on that fairway. It can take some unpredictable bounces. So, like I said, this is a fine one to just leave within a nice birdie range. We'll tap it up there. We'll sink it, no problem. So after 3 holes here, I haven't done anything spectacular, but I've put everything close and had some tap-in putts. We're still 1 shot back of the lead here, behind Tommy and Alex, who are tied for first. I'll be tied with Oatsy in second. And we'll move on to our second par 3 here, hole 11. And then, I mean, this ends with an interesting stretch. 14 and 17 to finish this round is going to be kind of chaotic. That's going to be a wild finish to this game. This one's not the easiest look at hole 11. We've got that pin on the left side. I kind of like this one, but this is a weird wind direction. It's a really tough ace with that very, very slight tailwind and, you know, also a lot of wind pushing directionally from right to left. I'll just want to aim this, I believe, to... We'll call it about there. I think that's decent, and we'll take a little off of what I typically hit on this shot. You know, this one's weird because the spin is really what we're looking for here. I don't know if we're going to get it. Yeah, and it'll spin back. It just wasn't on the right line. It's a really tough read when the ball is moving right to left on this green. It really takes away that side slope that you need to push it back towards the pin when you're rolling backwards. Not that we were on that line anyway. It just landed on the correct spot, but it was heading too far. Or, I guess, too extremely from right to left to really have a chance. Just another tap-in birdie. Ooh, and that one lips all the way around and in for Alex. A nice putt from the back of the green there. So we'll now actually just be behind Alex. Alex is at 6 under through 4. A nice start there. There'll be 3 of us. Me, Oatsy, and Tommy at 5 under. So we now have 5 holes to play. You know, hole 5, hole 6, 14 and 17 are, you know, tricky ones sometimes. 10 is mixed in there, sometimes an eagle opportunity. This is going to be an interesting final stretch here to see if we can pull back that one shot that we lost on that nice hole 16 for, you know, 3 eagles in that win setup was absolutely fantastic. I think that just goes to show how this league has really become extremely competitive. I mean, 3 eagles just a couple months ago in that situation would kind of been like unheard of. But now that's kind of just, you know, par for the course. Pun kind of intended there. Let's refocus here on hole 5. We'll just send that one up there perfectly in line with that little right side of the fairway. And we have a nice looking chip up here from 28 yards. Now, how do we want to handle this one? I think I may want to roll this up with the 9-iron. And that's what I'll do. I'll aim it to there. We'll roll this one up there. I'm thinking about, like, pin high power should be good with some rollout. Let's see if that works. That should kick. Oh, it doesn't kick left. It actually ends up rolling quite a ways away. So that one maybe wasn't my best read here. That needed to land significantly shorter of where it did. Kind of just overflew it. We'll have what isn't too bad of a look here at birdie, though. It just moves a little bit to the left at first, and then back to the right towards the end. We'll just tap it down there with that little over a dot of power, and that'll sink for just another birdie. Will we see any eagles? There's a really, really close call on the right side for Lemon. Wow, that was right on it. Our leader, big lad Alex, has a tough little double breaker, and he handles it no issue there. 2 nice putts in a row for Alex, and that'll be birdies all around there. Everybody birdies. We'll still be 1 shot back of Alex, who's off to a nice start here. 7 under through 5 is the lead. We'll move on to hole 6, and it looks like perhaps a trickier setup here. Wind from right to left, you know, actually isn't too bad. We want to aim this out off to the right, and I think I'll try to put this in the fairway. So we'll just let the wind push this way to the left, and I'm hoping this just moves way left, kind of skirts around that tree. Could have cut it a little bit closer, and maybe probably should have. But I think that's a fine spot to be. You know, it's going to be tough to put this one super, super close regardless. The tree is definitely in play here. That is, without a doubt, something to think of. What do we want to do about it? We may just have to try to hit it like way up and over and try to spin it back quite a bit. I'm thinking we can maybe go up and over the top. It's risky. It's definitely a little riskier than I'd really like to go for, but I'm not sure if we have much of a choice here. Let's see if we can carry that tree. Oh, we definitely can. Now, can that take a nice bounce and roll back? It will. Okay, that's totally fine. You know, it's left of the target, but that tree was way in the way, and, you know, 10 feet away here is totally fine. There's a nice putt from Ian from behind me. Gosman has birdied as well. I have to aim this a good amount out to the right. We'll try to trickle it down there, just like a 3/4 of a dot or so. That'll be absolutely perfect for a little side hill birdie. Ooh, Oatsy. We just saw sink a nice longer putt there. That was probably about 30 feet or so with a tough side hill. We have seen some nice putts here. So that'll push towards a 4-way tie. So it'll be 7 under for 4 of us through 6. Still anybody's game with 3 holes to play. We'll move on to hole 10 here. We've got 3 holes to see if we can break apart from this group, playing 1 shot better than birdie golf. And we have an interesting look here. It's that front middle pin and some lighter diagonal wind. You know, this is an eagle look, and I'd be really surprised if we didn't see any. It's not one of my favorite eagle looks, though. So it's one that I've really tried to, spin quite a bit. You have to hit a fuller 9-iron here. We'll see that once we actually get up there. So you have to hit that really full 9-iron to give this one a decent chance. I think we'll go for it. I've tried to roll this one up a number of times. It doesn't seem to work very consistently. We'll go for that fuller 9. We'll make sure we don't red bar it. That's always the risk with those fuller iron shots. But we'll hit a good one there. That's about perfect looking. Now, is it going to roll back? That looks like it landed just a little bit too far right, and it indeed did. So just a little bit off. We'll have to tap in the birdie here. So that'll be birdies all around there. It'll still be a 4-way tie at the top with 2 holes to play now. And we've reached that sometimes more chaotic stretch, 14 and 17, and it looks like we get maybe the toughest wind condition we can see on this hole 14. Diagonal wind in the face, maximum power. Oh boy, this one just became difficult. Let's try our best to hit a good shot off the tee, just kind of hugging the trees. Now, that may... Okay, that'll actually hit the rough. If it hits the fairway, it puts you close to the bunker. It looks like that's actually where Lemon ended up, and he's not in it, so that actually wasn't much of a risk. But now we have just a long shot here. We'll have to use the full driver and just try to put this as close as possible. I think about there is decent for the aim. I wasn't maybe ideally set up for this wind here, but we should be able to bounce that up at least pretty close and hopefully make it onto the green. I will. It's not going to be the easiest putt. We've got 39.2 feet, so nearly a 40-footer here. This is going to be a big test. We'll probably see some eagles. I didn't have the most efficient drive, and I mean, that was the furthest I could hit my second shot. But we're on the green. We have a look. We see an eagle from Lemon. Lemon has eagled. I'm going to have to try to match that. We probably need about 3 dots or so of power, and this is going to move a good amount from left to right. That looks like a pretty good putt that should trickle down and fall nearly inside the back of the cup, but it sinks for about a 40-foot eagle, and we're still in this one. And I'll have 1 of 2 eagles out of that group at 8 under, so that'll push me to 10 under, along with Tommy. So it's me and Tommy tied heading into this final hole 17. It all comes down to what is typically the most chaotic hole in the game. Pretty much a random number generator in terms of what happens when you hit this shot. And we're in a tee position that's not ideal. However, we're right next to Tommy, so we have the exact same situation as each other. I think the full driver is going to have to be the play. I'm not the biggest fan of it, and actually I may take a little bit off of the driver. That's going to be what I do. Just a little off the driver in the hopes that this doesn't launch and just kind of ends up nicely on the front of that green. That should push a good amount to the left, take a bounce and a launch roll, and I'll end up putting it to just a couple of feet. Wow, 3.7 feet on that kind of fortunate bounce there off the front of that fairway. And we'll have what's essentially a tap-in for the birdie on what's often, a real testing situation with that front pin that's so hard to get to. Tommy has a chip from just off the back of the green. Oatsy has made a nice chip. We've seen a couple nice birdies from the group here. But Tommy is tied with me in first place. He has a look. He's got a decent angle at it, just a little bit of crosswind to deal with. His chip is on the way, and he will just miss it on the right side. Wow, that was a hard-fought game. That was not an easy seed to play, and it'll be 11 under winning that game. I'll take the victory. The match results are in, and I gained 12 ELO points there, and actually, it looks like I may have jumped up to 4th overall. Sedin, I believe, was 1 spot ahead of me and was playing in a concurrent match, and I'll take 4th place. Tommy actually just joined the server today, I think, and this may have been one of his first games. Gained 77 points. Fantastic match there for Tommy. And that is indeed the case. There's the overall leaderboard right now. I'll be in 4th place, just ahead of Sedin. Still well behind Inventago, but 4th place is a good spot to be. Great game to everybody involved there. I hope you've enjoyed watching this ranked league action. We'll be back with a couple more videos before this season ends in the next few weeks. We'll see you in the next one.